Jesse is so excited to join the band this year. He won't stop talking about it.
Sammy's the exact same. What instrument does he want to play?
It looks like he wants to play the clarinet. What about Sammy?
Sammy's still deciding between clarinet and trumpet. I have a great local music store for you to check out renting an instrument if you like the info.
Oh, that's okay. I saw them on sale at the box store the other day. We can get a clarinet for less than $200. It's much cheaper than we were expecting.
Let me guess, it was on the toy aisle? I wouldn't waste your money on that.
They look like a clarinet. They feel like a clarinet. What could be wrong with them?
Think of it like buying a car. You get what you pay for, and you want to stick to reliable brands. If you're buying a used car, you want to take it to the mechanic first to make sure it's in good condition. Regardless if you're looking at new or used cars, you're making an investment in your future, and you want to make sure you get a good quality car, right?
Right. But why can't I get a good quality instrument from one of the box stores or the internet?
It's best to stick with reputable music stores. Would you buy a car you found at a big box store?
Well, no.
And what happens if something goes wrong with your instrument? Do those big box stores have any way to help you when something goes wrong with your instrument? Nope. If the store that sells or rents the instrument doesn't have a repair department to provide the back end support you need for that instrument, they probably aren't the best place to get your instrument.
Why can't I just take an instrument from the box store or the internet to the music store to be repaired?
The instruments you find in box stores and a lot of instruments you find online are just not repairable. Musical instruments are intricate machines, and any number of things can go wrong without proper care and maintenance. To continue the car analogy, let's talk about brands. When you look around at the cars on the road, there are several reputable brands that have a proven track record for being safe and reliable. You wouldn't go out and buy a car brand you hadn't heard of before, would you?
Definitely not.
Most schools have a list of approved brand names for this very reason. Stick to the brands on the list and you'll be giving Jesse a much better start.
That makes a lot of sense. But I still don't want to spend a ton of money for Jesse to try something he may not stick with. I know service is important, but what's wrong with buying a cheap starter instrument online?
Sure, you can find some very inexpensive instruments on the internet and in those big box stores. Those instruments look like real instruments. They may even sort of make a sound like a real instrument the first few times you try to play them.
So, what's wrong with them?
Oftentimes, those very inexpensive instruments are what we call an instrument-shaped object, or ISO. If Jesse joins band with an ISO, you're setting him up for failure, and he will likely quit. Jesse will work and do all the right things, but an ISO won't work quite right, and Jesse will just end up frustrated.
So, what's the difference between a good quality beginner instrument and an ISO?
Let's look at two clarinets as an example. The manufacturers of instrument-shaped objects use cheap, low-quality materials to create their instruments. This is one way they keep the price low. Unfortunately, that means the instrument is prone to break sooner. The body of this ISO clarinet is made of plastic, while this school-approved brand clarinet is made of resin. The keys on the ISO are made from low-quality metal, which will bend easily and break when a repair technician tries to bend the keys back to the proper shape. A quality beginner clarinet will have keys made of nickel-plated silver, which is a sturdier metal. It won't bend as easily, and if they are a little bent, an experienced repair technician can usually bend it back into place. Right when we open the case of this ISO, you can immediately see the corks are not properly glued onto the clarinet. If you were to take this instrument to a repair shop, you would immediately drop an extra $40 to $50 on this clarinet just to have the corks properly glued. The other thing to note about these corks, the quality of the cork used is cheap. Compared to this cork on a school-approved brand instrument, the corks on the ISO are more porous and improperly shaped. This means they will wear out or fall off faster.
I never would have known to look for things like that.
There's more. Let's also look at how good of a job the cork does of holding the instrument together snugly. Notice that the ISO doesn't hold together snugly. There's a lot of wiggle room in that cork, compared to the school-approved brand clarinet, which does not wiggle when put together. When we first put this ISO clarinet together and try to play, we notice that the ligature is also very cheaply made.
What's a ligature?
The ligature is the part that holds the reed to the mouthpiece. If Jesse doesn't have a quality ligature, the reed is probably going to keep slipping, and Jesse won't be able to play his clarinet. The sad thing is he won't even know that the clarinet is the problem, and he will think that he just can't do it right.
Talk about frustrating.
No kidding. Check this out. The ligature on this ISO doesn't hold the reed to the mouthpiece properly. And even this professional clarinet player is having a hard time getting a sound out of this clarinet.
How can you expect a kid to learn on an instrument that a professional can't even play easily?
Exactly. Compared to the ligature on the school-approved brand instrument, the ligature holds the reed snugly to the mouthpiece in the proper position. In addition to the low-quality materials used to make the keys, let's talk about adjustments. Many of these instrument-shaped objects will have leaky keys. Even when your student gets his or her hand position correct, the instrument just won't quite play the right note. The pads on a clarinet must be seated properly, something that the fast manufacturing process of most ISOs doesn't allow for. School-approved brand instruments have quality control technicians test and adjust every instrument at the end of the manufacturing process, ensuring each instrument plays well before they are shipped out. Local music stores will also be able to quality check each instrument before they rent or sell it to you, making sure you leave with an instrument that won't hold you back. Without precision machining, this ISO's tone holes aren't properly placed. No matter how much your student practices, this instrument just won't play in tune. Quality beginner instruments are designed and machined so precisely that the tone holes are placed and shaped to the exact specifications, usually within less than 1/1000th of an inch. These manufacturers make the exact specifications available on their website. Manufacturers of ISOs often don't make this information available because their manufacturing process isn't precise enough to be transparent about their specifications. Let's talk about mouthpieces. While these two mouthpieces look the same from the outside, the mouthpiece that comes with the ISO is far inferior to the mouthpiece that would come with the school-approved brand instrument. Quality mouthpiece openings are manufactured to within 1/100th of a millimeter. Nearly microscopic changes in the shape on the inside of a mouthpiece have a large impact on the tone quality of the instrument. Mouthpieces that come from a respected brand with a model number have been tested and measured to ensure your student can achieve a nice, open, full sound. The mouthpiece that comes on this ISO sounds stuffy, as if something is stuck inside the instrument, and there's nothing your student can do to overcome that stuffy quality.
Okay, so clarinets are tricky to make, and it's probably good to rent a quality one from a respected music store. What if Jesse decides to play another instrument, like trumpet or violin?
You'll find similar differences between ISOs and quality beginner models in every instrument: flute, trumpet, trombone, saxophone, violin, viola, and cello. Every instrument requires precision manufacturing and quality materials to give your beginner the best possible start.
It sounds like those very inexpensive instrument-shaped objects you find online or in big box stores could end up costing you hundreds of dollars in repair, if they're even repairable.
That's right. The savings up front will translate into more cost in the long term. Reputable music stores have rental plans set up to help get your student started on a quality instrument at an affordable price. And they have in-house repair technicians to help take care of any repair and maintenance issues.
I don't want to set Jesse up for failure with an instrument-shaped object. He'll be frustrated and at a high risk of quitting. I want to set him up for success and start him on a quality beginner instrument. I'll take that information on the local music store.